So yesterday we talked about the elimination method where when you just lined them up and it automatically canceled out, or we just had to change a sign and it was really simple. Now we're going to talk about when it gets a little more complicated. The elimination method only works when one set of variables adds up to 0. Sometimes you must first use the distributive property of equality with one or both of the equations to get a set of variables equal in number but opposite in sign. So step 1 with this, we are going to choose a variable to eliminate. And it doesn't matter which one you choose, because if you work it out correctly, it will come out to the same answer. So in this example, we have 2x and 10x, and I have 5y and 3y. So neither of those are going to eliminate if I add them together. Neither of those are going to eliminate if I change the signs. I have to actually change the numbers. So I'm going to do x on this one. What is the least common multiple of 2 and 10?
2.
10.
No, 10.
What
10,
number
10.
Right, 10. The number that they both go into is 10. So I can leave this second equation the same. What do I need to multiply the top equation by?
5.
5. And since I want it to have opposite signs, I'm actually going to multiply by a negative 5. So step 2, we multiply one equation by a factor that will get the terms equal but opposite. So we will multiply one equation by a factor that will get the terms equal but opposite. Sean, are you taking notes? All right, so we're going to go ahead and distribute that negative 5 to the whole first equation. So this becomes negative 10x minus 25y equals positive 110. And then I'm going to rewrite the second equation just the same as it was before. So step 3 is the same thing from this point that we did yesterday. Step 3 is add the lines and solve. So add those two together. What is negative 10x plus 10x? 0. Those cancel out to 0. Negative 25y plus 3y. Negative 22y. And then 110 plus 22. 132. So what do I need to do to both sides? Divide by negative 22. So y equals negative 6. Step 4, use y equals negative 6 to go back and solve for x. So again, this is the same thing we did yesterday. This is the same thing we did with substitution. I'm going to go ahead and use this first equation. I'm going to plug in negative 6 for y. So 2x plus 5 times negative 6 equals negative 22. Multiply, so 2x, and this becomes minus 30 equals negative 22. And then what do?
Add 30.
Add 30 to both sides. So 2x equals positive 8. Divide by 2, so x equals 4. And the last step, step 5, write your solution as an ordered pair. So what is my solution? 4, negative 6. Okay, I'm going to help you get started on A. Which variable do you think you want to eliminate? Y. So you want to get both of them to be what number? 15. Okay, so that's a good start. Go ahead and work A and B at the bottom. Part A, we said we wanted the Y to both be 15, right? So what do I need to multiply the second equation by to get 15? I want to do 3, and I also want to make sure that it's negative because I want these two signs to be opposite so that they cancel out. So you are distributing negative 3 to the entire equation. So negative 3 times 7x is
Negative 21.
negative 21x. Negative 3 times 5y,
Negative 15.
negative 15y, equals negative 3 times 17
51.
is negative 51. Make sure that you multiply to both sides of the equal sign. And then keep that first equation exactly as it was. Now combine. So negative 2x plus negative 21x. Negative 23x. 15y and negative 15y. That cancels out to 0. Equals 28 plus negative 51. Negative what? Negative 23. And then what do I do to both sides? Divide by negative 23. So x equals positive 1. From there, this is easy. We go back. I'm going to use the second equation, 7x plus 5y equals 17. Plug in 1 for x, so 7 times 1 plus 5y equals 17. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5y is 17. Subtract 7 from both sides, so 5y equals 10. Divide both sides by 5, so y equals 2. So what is your solution point here? 1, 2. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, which one do we want to eliminate? Y. What is the number that we're trying to get both of them to be? 6. So what do I need to multiply the bottom by?
3.
Positive or negative? Positive. Notice that these signs are already opposite, so I just need to multiply by a positive 3. So if I multiply by a positive 3, that is 15x minus 6y equals 42. We are going to keep the first equation exactly as it is. Add those two together. 18x. The y's cancel equals positive 36. Then what?
Divide 8 by 18.
Divide both sides by 18. X equals 2. Plug it back into either equation. So plug in that 2 into the x, and I'm going to do in the first equation.
6 plus 6y equals negative 6.
So that's going to become 6 plus 6y equals negative 6. Then what do I do to both sides?
You subtract 6.
So 6y equals negative 12. Then what?
You divide by 6 and you get negative 2.
So what is my solution here?
2.
2, negative 2. Any questions about this part? Okay, we're going to add one, Brian.
Okay, so I don't understand that only when the signs are the same, you have to divide by a negative.
Yes.
When they're opposite, you just divide by, you distribute by positive.
Correct. So we want the signs to be opposite, so we don't want to change anything if they're already opposite. We're going to leave them the same. All right, so we're going to add one more layer to what we are doing, so go ahead and turn to the next page. So sometimes it's not going to be this easy. Sometimes you have to multiply both equations before you can eliminate a variable. So step 1, same thing. Choose a variable to eliminate.
Why?
Why do you think why?
No, why?
Why do we choose a variable?
No, I
You're
said
choosing why.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm asking you why are you choosing why?
because it looks like you can get a common multiple easier.
Okay, so we can get a common multiple. And what else? What about the signs? They're already opposite. That's going to make it very easy. So what is going to be the least common multiple there? 6. So I want to get both of these numbers to be 6. What do I need to multiply the top equation by?
3.
By 3. And what about the second equation?
2.
2. So this top equation is going to end up being 12x plus 6y equals 42. And the bottom equation is 14x minus 6y equals negative 16. So that was step 2. We multiply each equation by factors that will get the terms equal but opposite. So step 2 is multiply each equation by factors that will get the terms equal but opposite. And we already did that. So step 3 goes back to what we know. We are going to add the lines and solve. So let's go ahead and add these up. 12x plus 14x.
26x.
26x. 6y and negative 6y.
0.
That cancels out to 0. Bring down the equal sign. 42 and negative 16.
32. 30.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Brian. 26. All right, what do I do to both sides?
Divide by 26.
Divide by 26. So x equals what? Positive 1. So step 4, same as before. Use x equals 1 to go back and solve for y. So again, pick either equation. I'm picking the first one because it has positive numbers and I don't want to do the negative numbers. So I'm going to plug 1 in for x in the first equation. 4 times 1 plus 2y equals 14. So you end up with 4 plus 2y equals 14. What do I do next? Subtract 4. 2y equals 10, and then what?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. Y equals 5. Step 5, write your solution as an ordered pair. What is my solution here?
1/5.
1 what?
5.
1, 5. All right, so let's think back for a second. If I graph both of these lines, where would they cross?
You want 5?
1, 5. This is the same thing. I could solve this by graphing both of these equations. They would cross at 1, 5. So remember, this is just another method. So the understanding check, A and B at the bottom. Let's look at A before you get started. Which variable do you think would be easier to eliminate?
X.
Okay, X. What would be the least common multiple? 30. So think about that. Do they have opposite signs?
No.
No. So one of them you're going to want to multiply by a negative. And it doesn't matter which one. You will get the same answer regardless. So go ahead and do A and B on your own. 30. So we multiply the top equation by 2. And the bottom equation by? So you can do this either way. You can multiply the top equation by -2 or the bottom equation by -3. But one of them you needed to use a negative. It is going to come out to the same thing. So if I multiply the top equation by +2, what do I get?
30x plus 6y equals 18.
Good. 30x plus 6y equals 18. And for the bottom equation?
Negative 30x minus 21y equals 12.
So step 2, what are we going to do?
Add them all.
Right, add them and solve. So 30x and negative 30x. Cancel. Sean, are you getting this down? Okay. 6y and negative 21y. Negative 15y. Equals 30. Do what to both sides? Divide by negative 15. So y equals -2. Everybody should be answering because I saw a lot of work on people's papers. Where does this go after that? We need to go back to an original equation. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. You said the second one. So 10x plus 7y equals -4. Plug it in for that y. So 10x plus 7 times -2 equals -4. Simplify. 10x minus 14 equals -4. What do we do to both sides? Why are we adding 14? It's a negative or a subtraction, so we need to do that opposite. Add 14. 10x equals 10. And then do what to both sides? Divide by 10. So x equals 1. What is the solution for that one? 1, -2. Make sure you're writing it as an ordered pair at the end. All right, B. How many of you eliminated x? How many of you eliminated y on part B? All right, good. Y was definitely the easier one. So for y, what was your least common multiple? 6. So do I need to change the signs? No, they're already opposite. What do I multiply the top equation by? 2. And what about the bottom equation? 3. So the top equation becomes 14x minus 6y equals -10. And the bottom one becomes 9x plus 6y equals 33. Then what do I do next? Add them up. So 14x and 9x, 23x. -6y and +6y, those cancel to 0, equals 23. And what to both sides? Divide by 23. So x equals 1. Plug that back in. Let's do the second one. 3x plus 2y equals 11. Plug in 1 for x. So 3 times 1 plus 2y equals 11. What do I need to do to both sides? So 2y equals 8. And then what? So y equals 4. What is my solution point? 1, 4. Any questions about this? Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of sets of directions, so make sure you are paying full attention here.